Alrighty, well howdy everybody. I am Cy Strikling and welcome back to our channel. And today we have with us a couple of special guests. We are going to be doing a interview with Science or Satire, which is made up by Team Skeptic, Shawn Hufford, and Ftfe, or Fight the Flat Earth. So hello guys.
Now, when you say
Hello.
special, do you mean like, cool people or Nathan Thompson special?
Like you forgot your helmet.
Did you say special guests or special eds? I didn't know.
Special needs, maybe. That was maybe what you meant.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
I want to point something out from the intro already. I saw some really illogical images in the intro. You said something about telling the penguin, "Hey, this looks like a little bit of fun here." Now, for you as a human with a spacesuit, yeah, it is a little fun to be in the desert around predators like lions and shit. But
Nathan Thompson.
For a penguin, yeah, because there were several animals there that you could probably kill on your own to eat should you get hungry. However, the penguin, there was nothing there for the penguin to kill to eat. And not only were there predators, but it was completely out of its environment. So I do think that you were being a bit selfish by saying that place looked like it'd be a little bit more fun.
Very true. That poor
being
penguin.
Observant.
But that's why we left, It wasn't ideal.
You were just looking for a spot where you didn't have to share the penguin for dinner.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, I think we should get started a little bit. So let's go around the room, table, whatever you want to call it. And you guys can.
Planet?
Sure. Yeah, around the flat planet, right?
Yeah, because that makes sense.
Of course. So let's just kind of go over and get to know everybody. Just a few quick tidbits about you guys. We'll start with Team Skeptic.
Yeah, I'm here. I like to party. You know that. Everybody knows that by now. Everywhere I go, it is a little mini party. I'm pretty much bring my own bottle of vodka everywhere I go. We have whiskey everywhere I go with me, just in case a live stream breaks out, and I can be fully prepared. But look forward to whatever we're gonna do today. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Awesome. Yeah, we just want to kind of get to know you guys a little bit and just kind of figure out who Science or Satire is. So with that, we'll go over to Fight the Flat Earth, or Ftfe.
Hey, I'm Ftfe. I'm from the channel that ties stupidity to the train tracks of knowledge. A couple of little tidbits about me. I once sold my soul to the devil so that I could have laser eyes. Here you see me with those laser eyes. Obviously, CGI isn't a thing. This is absolute real footage. And also, you may not know, but I was the gunman on the grassy knoll that assassinated JFK.
Well, good to know, I guess. Well, thank you for that.
He's his other name. He also known as Charles McMahon.
Yeah, I am Charles McCann, definitely.
Yes,
Assassinated
I've
JFK.
heard I've
Yeah,
heard
McCann.
something about that. Yeah. And was that Irish Demon who made that up?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Fucking awesome.
So then we'll go over to Shawn Hufford.
No, most people know who I am, just through reputation mostly. I kind of latched on with Team Skeptic and Craig here, just because they're nice guys. You know, I helped introduce them to a lot of people, and I like them both, so I stuck with them. They can't get rid of me now. I don't know why.
I do want to thank you for your low standards, Shawn.
Well, when you get to my age, bars have to be low because it hurts to get up.
Yeah, well,
I gotta say, it's been nice to have Shawn join us because he is like the all-seeing eye of wisdom. You know, he's the one that has the stories. He's the one that's been in the business for, well, since the arguments with idiots began, really. So it's like having a little Yoda join the pack.
Yes.
Except, you know, looks
A
like Shawn.
big Yoda. A
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
Yoda.
yeah, he's definitely a little bit taller than Yoda, just a bit. Just yeah, I'm more
Looks
of
more
Yoda's
like the
height.
Emperor, to be fair. But,
Well, to be fair,
Not to lie though, Side Strikling, you do actually look kind of like a Yoda.
I'm not sure how to take that.
now that I'm looking at it,
He does. Y'all are think. Okay, look.
You know
Yeah,
what?
isn't it
Times
Yaddle?
when I'm joking, there's times when I'm joking, times when I'm being serious. Right now, I'm being dead serious. I look at you, and it looks as if like Yoda and a chickpea had a baby.
I was going to be a little bit less insulting. Just say Yoda and Princess Leia got jiggy with it in the swamp.
Hey, Skeptic. At least I
Yes.
can whistle.
Hey, fuck off.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't realize we were gonna have personal attacks in this live stream. That's okay. I got you.
No, I just look like Yoda mixed with a chickpea.
just in case people haven't seen
Compliment.
the horrific force of nightmares that is Team Skeptic attempting to whistle, it looks a little bit like this.
Yeah,
Indeed.
fuck off you too, Craig. At least one person loves me, Shawn.
The thing is,
Don't
he's
count
actually
on
banned
it.
from doing this because whenever he makes this face and attempts to whistle, all the dogs within 3 miles instantly go deaf.
It literally sounds like I'm farting after plugging myself with a 7-inch pipe.
Oh boy.
Or
Well,
7-inch.
I'm glad that we've gotten to know a little bit about each of you. And I do want to just point out that I do have Amy Hogan in the live chat with me. So thank you
Hi,
for
Amy.
coming, Amy. If anybody has any questions for Team or Shawn or FTFE, tag Amy in them, and she's going to DM them to me so that I don't miss any. That way, if we have a little bit of extra time at the end, we can get some live chat questions in there as well. All right, so
Hey, Side Striking, a lot of people in the chat are asking where the super chat button is. Now, Side Striking doesn't have the required amount yet, but I'm sure she's got a PayPal or something that if you guys would like to donate towards to help her channel.
I do. Yeah, I could definitely get the link over there too. It's it should be not in the description because I didn't add it. But yeah, if you do wish to send me anything through PayPal, I will definitely read it out the same as a super chat. Just make sure to include your YouTube handle, because I don't want to, dox anybody. I'm not sure how I had it set up, so let's take a look real quick while I'm doing that. That should be it. Aha, that's it. All right.
Hi, Amy.
Nathan Thompson's been emailing me. Well, I keep emailing him because it annoys him.
All right. So that is the PayPal link as well. If anybody wants to send any
Doesn't know how
donations,
to
I do
troll.
greatly
If you
appreciate it,
just-
but it's
if you
definitely
don't-
not
If you don't
required.
answer back, oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
If you don't answer back, then people will stop emailing you. I swear.
Yeah.
It's what I do when I don't want to talk to somebody. I just don't answer their email and they
But
stop.
I like poking him. I know that every time he gets an email from me,
Oh,
he's got a blood
you're
vessel.
doing good. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you're doing good. I'm saying he's the idiot for not fucking going,
Yeah.
yeah, he's trolling me.
I
Like,
think I've
those are the
developed.
easy targets.
I have developed a superpower, and it is the ability to trigger Nathan on sight,
Yeah.
and I can
he
even
hates-
control when he's on camera. It's brilliant.
He hates both you and me. And I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
he hates you. I think he hates you more than me now because of the
Team,
memes.
I made him swear, man. I made him use the F word.
Oh yeah, that was classic when he in his intro. We
Yeah.
don't allow any cussing or insults or anything like that. And then you show him fucking this, and he's like, aha. I even said, I was like, aha, you cussed.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
I don't cuss, man. No cussing in my. Yeah, you cuss, bitch. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, Nathan.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, I actually have a few questions first about the whole of science or satire, instead of just individual questions for each of you guys. So we'll start with Team Skeptic for a question about science or satire. How did you guys meet? Was it all at one time, or did you meet each other at different
Well,
times?
no, I met Shawn first, of course, and then Fight later. Science or satire was an idea that I had. I've always wanted to do a Joe Rogan style podcast where I was talking with people that were more intelligent than me or just more interesting than me. They don't necessarily have to be more intelligent, but let's say they had a very interesting life and they wanted to share those experiences. And I thought science or satire, the name of it was it was to give the idea that we're going to be either talking about science or we're going to be talking about something interesting, something satirical to life, you know? So that was my idea. And then I was like, yo, you know, Craig, let's do this together. And then naturally, at the same time, Shawn was literally doing everything with me and Craig at the time. So we were like, shit, that's the crew right there. It's a me, you, and Shawn thing. Let's just get Shawn in on it 100%, and you know, let's move forward with it like that. So it originally was my idea, but then I just realized it was an idea that I would obviously need business partners with, since it was secondary to my channel and it was more of a show-based format. That's what I wanted to do. It was more of a show-based format.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear how that kind of came about, and you know, definitely kind of what you were looking to do with science or satire and your idea for that. That's a pretty disturbing meme you have up there, Craig.
Shout out to Jay Brown.
Yeah. And with that, we will go over to Fight the Flat Earth. It kind of just echoes the same thing that you know, Craig had said, or team rather had said, excuse me, about, you know, how do you feel starting science or satire went? Like, what was it for you that led you to that?
I was a newbie to the whole YouTube scene, and I've been invited on some streams with Shawn and team, and I really like team stuff. And then we started doing streams together, and team approached me with the whole science or satire idea as kind of a way to promote, you know, our channels together and to get other people on and you know, make it kind of a joint community, not a community thing necessarily, but like a joint brand that people could recognize that if it's going to be a stream that's done by science or satire, you're going to have either a dumpster fire or an interesting talk with someone, or, you know, you're going to see me or Shawn or team. And it just seemed like a great idea to work together to build something that we could push that's more than just our own channels.
Makes sense. And lastly, I'll go over to Shawn. How do you guys decide what you're gonna talk about on each science or satire show? Did just one of you decide? Is it kind of like a group thing?
It's actually mostly up to Team Skeptic or Craig, depending on who's hosting the show, because my work schedule doesn't allow me to be at every show, so I really have virtually no input on this. When Science and Satire started, I was just going to Team Skeptic's hangouts and Craig's hangouts just to hang with friends. And I became such a regular there that Team Skeptic and Craig just kind of said, why don't you just be our third, you know, host? So that became a thing for a while, and then I got a job and my work schedule prevents me from going to every episode, but it's really, the lion's share is on those two. I'm there when I can be. I throw in my input when I can, but I've been missing
Let's be factually correct, Shawn. You're there when you can be, and I remember to send you an invite.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true. Mister, I'm going to send you an invite last night. Didn't send one.
Yeah.
I did have one. In fact, you know what? You can see evidence of this, Shawn, in the when I first put Irish Demon on camera last night. I selected the wrong call log or the call link. I selected your call link, and when it comes up, it's black. Like there's nothing there. And I'm like, oh, wrong call link. That was when I was like, I just figured you were at work. And that's why you hadn't joined.
Well, I was at work, but I just thought it was funny at the beginning. You know, let me send Shawn a link here, and you open the call up, but you never sent me the link.
I had one. Sometimes I get scatterbrained. That's on
Yeah,
me.
you can't ask team to do more than like one thing
Yeah.
at a time.
half a
That's-
thing.
Yeah, you guys think I get squirreled in RDR2? Team Skeptic gets squirreled in life all the time.
That's definitely
But
true.
yeah, but Shawn's right. There was like while the whole general concept was my idea, the coming together was literally just three friends. You know, it's three friends who are, you know, to some degree polar opposites and share so many similarities. We're all ex-military, so we have that kind of ex-military swag to us that we all kind of get along with that. You'll find that in military and ex-military. Even
Take
after
a
you get
joke.
out of the military, yeah, you could, number one, you could take a joke. Number two, you can give one. You know, and the two guys sitting up here with me tonight are some of the best punching bags that punch back. So
Yeah.
that's the number one thing, and the number two thing is that we all are also very different. Shawn is very logical, very straightforward in his approach. Fight is a third of a half-wit, you know, so like he's kind of like he's got a penis on his head. I mean, these are the type of things that he has to deal with every single live stream, whether I'm hosting, he's hosting, or you're hosting. So he's used to it.
But
by
the thing
now.
is, I do often get confused when I come into streams. I think, oh shit, did I just join a stream with the Morgile? And then I realize that it's just team. So, you know, we just carry on.
Shawn Hufford, you were the one that started that Morgile shit, didn't you?
Yes, I am.
I fucking hate you.
But it's not wholly incorrect.
Yes, it is. I'm absolutely not the Morgile or any offshoot of him. No, it's just the whole idea. While the concept might have been my idea, the coming together and making it happen was legitimately three friends coming together. It started out with me and Ftfe, but I don't think there was ever a time that Shawn wasn't included in something. Even though it wasn't official till later, there just never was a time that Shawn was never included in it. So
I was in
every
every episode of the beginning of Science or Satire. It's just I wasn't actually a part of Science or Satire. I was more or less like a recurring guest. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah, pretty much.
A host. I would say a host, not a guest. You're pretty much a recurring host.
A recurring host, yeah, that works.
Because you are a
character we
host.
could write off if we needed to.
Yeah, but you are a host, though. you are a host of the show. I mean, there's not anybody that could just say, "Oh, Shawn's a participant."
Right.
No, he's a host. He gets on there and he directs the conversation a lot of times, and it's a three-man hosted show. While only one of us is sending signals to YouTube, all three of us are adding to that signal for sure, 100%.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely glad
Even
to
if
hear
my
that.
signal is a few seconds behind because, you know, I've got a delay in my brain.
Your hamsters don't
finally
run too
admits it.
fast.
Out fucking time.
That's progress, man. Progress.
Hey, where's the delay now? We're not using VMix. It's VMix that causes the delay, and I don't know why.
Yeah, no, we're using OBS today.
We ought to just as a group, like if you could mute him so he can't hear us while we talk shit right now. As a group, we should just like all wait 2 seconds to answer him, just so it doesn't throw him off when he uses vmix.
That's funny.
Just keep it consistent.
Yeah, I agree, Skeptic.
Good job, Shawn.
Yeah, I agree, Shawn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, notice the 2 second wait I just gave you there.
Yep.
Oh, so Shawn's coming in through my stream, is he?
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So something I want to ask the three of you, but it's the same question for all of you. What do you personally hope that other people take away from watching your shows? We could start with Shawn.
Humor mostly. I mean, the flat Earth is a dead topic, other than just poking fun at it and just laughing hysterically at the claims. I just see it as a humor value now at this point.
Yeah, so my whole one of my premises that I've stood on for years is that we don't put enough value into the scientific community. And the reason that that occurs is because science simply isn't entertaining to the mass public, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Yeah.
majority of the people out there, they don't go home at 7 o'clock at night and flip to the nearest, you know, science documentary to watch it. They watch something that's considered entertainment, whether it be a TV show or sports or something that has short attention spans that make you laugh, that, you know, that you can maybe pick up one, shut it off later, come back to it, watch a little bit, shut it off, come back to it, whatever. That was the idea, was to say, let's make a show that makes science easier to learn, that makes you want to get out, that makes science entertainment, you know, that a little bit of a convergence between the two. And I think we do. I think we have a good time. We're always trying to talk science or science fiction. And then we also, you know, we mix that in with a bunch of fucking jokes. And I think it's a great combination.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. You know, you guys definitely make it more entertaining. You know, it's fun. You have, you know, good laughs and some, you know, really stupid people come on your shows, but at the same time, you get your point across.
I might say that I have a debate on the Monday night. I might call it Monday night debates, but for a long time, I've been very clear that there is no debate. I bring these people on so that I can make, you know, parade a stupid person for everyone to see.
I love it.
You know, that there is no debate, and it's very rare that there's even a flat earther you can have a proper conversation with. They just don't know how it works. So I'm literally there to provide entertainment, and I want people to leave my channel thinking that they've had a good time. Hopefully they'll learn something if I am talking about science and trying to explain something, but I'm there to entertain and just point out how stupid these science denying morons are.
So probably up until about October or November last year, I was starting to become really against bringing Flat Earth on for a debate.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, you know, should we even be debating objective, you know, objective reality?
Right.
We're not talking about subjectivity here. We're talking about objective facts. The Earth is not flat. This is not subjective. This is objective, and it's backed by observational fact and scientific theory. So the Earth, there's no question about it. So it would get frustrating to me because I was taking it so fucking seriously.
Yeah.
Then I was like, you know what? Fuck all this taking it seriously shit. Let's just do what we do best. What do we do in our videos? We make fun of these dipshits. We pass on the knowledge as to why they're wrong. And when we get done with doing that, we say, and that's why you're stupid. Because you know this and you didn't, or you decided on your own that you were going to like not acknowledge these facts, or after we've presented the facts, you still choose not to, or the evidence, not the facts, but the evidence.
Yeah,
you
and
choose
we
not
don't
to
pull
accept
punches.
it.
Right.
We don't pull punches, and there's a reason we don't pull punches, is because all the debates have been done. You know, it's way before even Team Skeptic got on the scene. The debates had all been done. All the explanations are already out there. There is no new flat earth arguments. So at this point, it's people that are just choosing to be stupid. It's willful ignorance, and they don't deserve any respect. So people sometimes are like, oh, well, you're so mean to flat earthers. And I'm like, well, that's because they're an intellectually dishonest, pathological liar, and they deserve no respect. And
Right.
so I treat them like that. Sometimes you can have a semi-decent conversation if they can at least pretend to be a normal person for an hour, but most of the time their just lack of understanding of human society lets the conversation down. So it's nothing more than, again, pointing and laughing at the stupid person.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
absolutely. And, you know, I do hear that a lot, that Flat Earth is dead. You know, that there's no new arguments coming out of Flat Earth. So with that, what do you all like to do in your spare time or your off time when you're not doing these shows where you're, you know, debunking Flat Earth or other idiots on the internet? We'll start with Team Skeptic for that one.
I'm a homebody. I mean, I like sitting at home. I do actually really enjoy educating myself. I find personal satisfaction from it. So I constantly go to a new topic and learn as much as I can about that topic and try to understand the topic.
Right.
Like this recently, when we did our debate on evolution, it was something completely new to me. It wasn't something I denied, but it had also been something I'd never really looked hard into. I knew the mechanisms of evolution. I can explain it on, not just biological terms, but, economical terms, fucking everything that is a system that has an input to the system and has a chance to grow will grow based on the pressures of anything that drives that business or anything that drives that system. In a business, it could be social pressures, it could be tax pressures, it could be any kind of pressures. But evolution will drive the businesses forward, and the businesses will evolve or they'll die off. That's basically how evolution works. Also, in the biological sense, so I really, I wasn't really familiar with it, but then once I said, okay, I'm going to be doing an evolution debate. Let's start looking into a lot of the different sciences and try to understand it. Don't try to parrot it. That's why I didn't bring up stuff like ERVs during the debate. I already knew about what an ERV was. I already knew that we shared ERVs with other species, but I didn't know it. I didn't know the science behind it well enough to be able to start talking about it. So I just kind of strayed away from that. Now, since there were so many people that were like, no, you really need to see this. This is a direct, evolution, direct evidence to support evolution. I was like, okay, let me look more into it and kind of learn the science behind it. And then I started to learn it, and I'm like, oh shit, this was a layup. I should have brought this up. It's a layup. When they say, oh, where do we see this? It's a layup. It's in the genetic fucking code of all animals, or closely related animals. You can see the genetic code for ERVs that are shared. That would not be explainable. That, in fact, ERVs are one way to falsify evolution. If you found ERVs, and let's say you found an ERV that was similar between a human and a jellyfish that was not shared with a chimp, then that would be evidence to go against evolution. At least evidence to go against the postulate that ERVs support evolution. So once I started learning about all that, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for my next debate. The next debate's going to be amazing. And I'm just like Fight said, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to show any of these guys any fucking slack whatsoever. I pull no punches. I hit in the face, and I hit hard.
Awesome. Well, it's good to hear. I mean, I did enjoy your debate, the evolution debate that you guys did. That was really awesome. And it's good to kind of see you branch out from just flat earth and that type of thing. So it was definitely awesome. And how about you, Craig? What do you like to do in your off time?
Well, I've got a young family, a boy, 11, called Struan, and a girl, Violet, 6 years old. So I spend a lot of time looking after them. Little boy's in here right now. Hi. He's just gone away now.
Oi. How did you teach him that weird accent, by the way?
His mum was raised in Scotland and his father was raised in Bristol. He's gonna have to just deal with that in his life. Yeah. So yeah, I spent a lot of time, raising the family, especially recently with the lockdown there. They're here all of the fucking time. Apart from that, I've been married for 13 years. My wife's my best friend. We do pretty much everything together. We play a lot of video games together. I also like to increase my knowledge and learn a lot more, especially since starting to debunk idiots online. You have to improve your knowledge so that you can stay ahead of the curve, because as soon as you bring up a rebuttal to their evidence, they will then bring up some ad hoc explanation why your evidence isn't right. So you need to understand what you're presenting as well as possible to be able to then rebut the ridiculous replies that they come up with. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
And can I give an example to that, and a direct example from what happened on the other night, right? So we bring up evidence to back that evolution is real, right? And then they come back with no evidence, and their explanation to our evidence is that it's intelligent design. So they would deny our evidentially backed claims to assert a a claim that has no evidence whatsoever, a completely unsupported claim whatsoever. That's exactly what he's fucking talking about. And they did that. They pulled that shit in that debate immediately. I don't understand that line of reasoning. I'm not going to accept yours because I don't believe the evidence. But Let me give you something that doesn't have evidence, that the evidence that explains it perfectly. God.
Hitchens
Yeah,
razor.
it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense on their end, but although for most idiots at least, nothing that they say makes a whole lot of sense. So to be fair, and last but not least, what about you, Shawn?
Well, when I'm not working, I'm either streaming with friends or streaming on my own, or just putting the headphones on and cranking out some jams. That's pretty much it. I got a boring life.
Definitely
You got a
sounds.
boring life too, though.
It's not so much boring. It just depends on what you enjoy doing. You know, if that's your thing, if that's what you like to do, then there's really nothing
I
boring
guess,
about it.
yeah, boring, boring in the sense of somebody else would think it was boring.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and that's completely objective.
I love what I do, so
Yeah.
I'm all right with sitting
I-
down.
I can't make it. The fact that I've managed to turn what originally started as a way to occupy my time and shout at idiots that I found online has turned into a way for me to actually support my family, and that feels great. You know, so I'm going to keep doing it and do it as well as I can.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely do appreciate that sentiment. I did just want to point out that I did have a PayPal donation from Surf, who says pineapple pizza is great.
So I'm just going to leave. I don't need to listen to that kind of disgusting language. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I hope that donation was significant enough to cover for the rest of the time that Fight and I will not be here.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for ruining the show with the pineapple pizza comment.
See you later. I'm out. No.
Thanks for that, Surf. I do appreciate it.
I do intend on trying it on Saturday, though, as well as wearing my mankini to talk with JM True.
So I may as well announce my exit from Science or Satire as well.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, geez.
Five for Craig.
Thank you for that, Surf. I do appreciate it, though. And also another PayPal donation from Robert. I believe he goes by Robert on YouTube as well. So I do appreciate that. You guys are really awesome.
Thank you for that.
I'm
Great
only
people
about
on
a tenth of the way to the goal to get monetization as far as subscribers go. So I do have a long way to go, but that'll just get there eventually over time.
You keep having me on, and this will grow fast.
I don't know.
Your channel will get shut down. One of the two.
Right, I was
One
gonna
of
say
the
it
two
depends
will
on how many
happen, yeah.
subscribers
that
I
only
lose
happens
after
if you bring
today.
Shesh on to draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of
I mean-
which, I did have a question from the chat from Anamorphic Mind. He says, "Can you have team show us how to draw boobs in MS Paint?" LOL. No, I don't think we'll do that today.
No, mine. Look, hold on. You would not. Mine mostly involve ovals, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna have anything. It's a Picasso.
Yeah, I think it was.
We're good
I
on
think it
that.
was.
What about
And
this?
I
This
can't-
is,
Chest
this
drew
is an
too
explanation
well.
of Earth's tides. Is this too much like a boob? Is this going to get your channel shut down?
I'm getting a semi chub right now just by
Oh,
looking
okay,
at the tides.
enough.
Yeah.
Done with that.
Oh boy, but yeah, I don't think we'll be doing that today, Anamorphic Mind. But thank you. And let's see. So the other thing I know is that all three of you guys were actually in the military. Can you just talk briefly about like what it is that you did, or what you enjoyed or liked least about that? We'll start with Ftfe for that one.
I was a nuclear engineer. They helped me finish my education and then further it. So I was a nuclear engineer on submarines until an instant with diving training. Then became an engineer on surface ships. Spent a lot of time on HMS Westminster, general maintenance and engineering. But the military sorted me out. I didn't have much focus and stuff, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with me until I joined the military, and it just allowed me to super focus and work really hard to be the best person that I could be. Unfortunately, there was an injury and I had to cut my military career short, but I don't think I regret anything that I ever did in the military. I would never, even though, my life could have been in danger, and it doesn't matter. I loved what I did and I'm proud of what I did. So, it's just something I would never think negatively of, even though I am disabled because of it. It was some of the best times of my life.
Well, that's awesome to hear. I do definitely appreciate that. How about you, Shawn?
I worked in satellite intelligence, where my team would literally be the ones telling in the satellite how to orient itself to capture the images as it flew over. So we literally piloted satellites for a good number of years.
Well, that's what they told you at least, right?
Yeah, that's what they told us.
Right, right.
Yeah, I mean, satellites are just balloons.
Within
so-
the dome, right? And what did you dislike any part of it, or enjoy something more than the rest?
Depended on the day.
I can imagine that. How about you, Team Skeptic?
Well, I talked a little bit about it last night. I mean, I honestly really got lucky because I enjoyed what I did so much that I learned it and I advanced so fast. I was an E5 within 2 years, or I was scheduled to be an E5. I didn't make it because of my discharge date. I'd already passed the test to advance. It's called frocking. I don't know if that's what they called it in the Army. Is that what they called it? Sean, when you would
No.
okay. Well, so a
Frocking's a Navy thing that they keep on the ships.
Oh no. So I believe the term's frocked. What it means is that you've earned you've earned the promotion at the next promotion. So you're getting promoted. So you're like, instead of being an E3 or E4, I was an E5. I could sew on the patches and everything like that, wear my patches around because I made advancement, but it hadn't gotten to the advancement date. And I received my discharge after I advanced, but before we got to the advancement date. So I did get out as an E4, but I was frocked to be an E5. But with what I did, it was all electronics. I got to see some of the coolest shit in the world. I was stationed at China Lake, which is in the middle of the Mojave Desert. There's nothing going on out there. Absolutely nothing. I had a triangular air base. It had a triangular runway with a radio tower in the middle. Not even a radio tower, just a radio room in the middle, which had our the TACAN radar station that we had out there. So I got to watch, because I was at what's called a NAWS base, an NAWS Naval Air Weapons Stations base. We had like mountains everywhere, and I've worked on all the security systems for all the missiles that were inside of the mountains being stored. So I got to see, when I'm talking about when they say, oh yeah, door on the mountain slides open and there's just missiles sitting there stacked, like either standing straight up and down in order or stacked like in crates. I saw that shit with my own eyes. I used to work on do the maintenance on the security systems on the big doors that would open up. It was so cool. It was like I said, middle of the desert. We saw coyotes. We saw wild, like feral dogs that ran in packs. It was such an experience. I barely worked. Like I worked out of the 8 hours a day.
Just like now.
I worked. Yes, very much so. Out of the 8 hours a day, I worked 4 hours that I had to be at work. But on Monday, I could get all my weekly maintenance done in the first 4 hours. So I could get all my work done on Monday. And then the rest of the time, we would literally take our trucks out into the middle of the desert and get them stuck, four-wheeling and shit like that. Or we'd be taking the trucks in to get maintenance to replace what we broke while we were four-wheeling in the middle of the desert. But it was fun, man. I loved it. And something Ftfe said really resonates here is that I think that a lot of times what drives a successful creator on YouTube is seeing a solution and driving to get to that solution. Where a lot of people see like where they want to be and they don't realize the road is going to be so tough to get there. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they do and they just think, oh no, so and so did it and he's 10,000 subscribers. I can do that so easy. And then they do it for 6 months and they have 100 subscribers. They don't know what they're doing wrong or anything like that. I think in the military, they teach you something in the military that makes you want to drive past that, to understand that those hardships are part of the process. And that if you truly want to get to the end process, you got to go through those hardships. And I believe military personnel or ex-military personnel are some of the best people that are equipped with the abilities to get through those first hard times.
Awesome.
I got to thank the military for that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds awesome. I mean, what all three of you did, I definitely appreciate it. Thank you all for your service.
What you don't understand is
amazing.
All three of our stories there were actually scripts given to us
of
by
course.
the military.
Yes.
We're not allowed to tell you what we really did because we're all
Right.
shills.
Charles, hush.
Sorry.
Oh, geez. And we also had a question from the chat, just kind of in relation to that, from Kristen Frost Laser Beams. She wants to know, do they allow women on submarines?
No.
No.
Not
They didn't when I was in. They didn't when I don't know if they do now, but they didn't when I was
not for
in.
long deployment terms. It's the subs weren't built. I mean, there's been a new class of subs that have come out since I left. I was on T-boats mostly.
Okay.
Maybe on the new ones that they are designed for it, but the facilities simply weren't there for men and women to kind of live together on a T-boat. It just
I would say
really
that
been done.
I'm sorry.
There's a myth that women aren't allowed on submarines because radiation from the reactor and stuff, but that's completely false. I would receive, I was someone that worked closely with the nuclear reactor system, and I would probably receive more radiation now from the concrete walls around me than I did working with the nuclear reactor. The shielding is so secure, so that myth about women not being allowed on subs because of radiation is completely false. It's mainly because the subs weren't designed with women being part of the service.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the every space in a submarine has to be accounted for because you are
exactly.
truly limited on space. It's the same way in a ship, but there's more space in a ship. But there's also ships out there that don't have women on them, or there were when I was in the military. It wasn't just submarines when I was in the military. There were actual ships that didn't have women on them either. They could only, I don't think they had women on minesweepers. That's just one. I don't think and I think it was for the same reason that he said they were just, when they were designed, they were not designed with women in mind, because at the time there were no women in the military.
Right.
So, or it wasn't they just weren't allowed to do certain things in the military. But I'll tell you, man, women had it easy when I was in the military. If that was the time to go in, when I had to do my qualifications to graduate from URN TAC N25 school, I had to climb the mast of a ship and do a maintenance on my piece of equipment. Ultimately, you should know how to do every piece of maintenance on the piece of equipment that you work on. So I had to go up there to get my final certification and do the maintenance. The women in my class did not have to do that. The women in my class got to do it on the roof of the building, and I never understood why. I was like, why would they do their maintenance up on the top of a building and not on the top of a ship where where the piece of equipment is going to be if they're ever deployed on a ship? So it was just a different time, though. So maybe a lot of things probably have changed since then. But I'm not 100% sure.
Definitely when I think women that were trying to do the same job as someone like me, I was an artificer, so we were the high-end engineers that were going, our career progression ended with us being a lieutenant commander. And the women that were in that, I think they actually had it harder because they had to prove themselves so much, because the higher up people had been in the Navy for so long and women hadn't really been a part of it. So when women were introduced, a lot of the kind of,
I think we need a topic change because Jessica's having a hard time keeping it up.
Apparently.
Right.
Yeah, my mic is not as excited anymore, apparently.
Just give us some Cialis.
It's a Yeti caster, so it attaches to the stand that my TV is on, and it's got hinges and screws to kind of keep it where you set it. But the screws, no matter how tight I make them, even with like pliers or something, the screws just don't hold completely.
Oh, get her a locking fucking washer.
Damn that downward acceleration of 900 meters
I need
per
to just
second
get
squared.
a regular mic stand, like a floor mic stand. That's going to be the best option.
Like this one?
Yes. Like that one.
That's all. That's
or I'll just take Shawn's. Geez. Well, I have another question for you guys before we get to a couple questions from the chat. And this, again, is going to be for all three of you. We'll start with Ftfe for this one. What advice would you give to anyone who is just starting out on YouTube and has fewer subscribers, somebody that's in my position or something like that?
Enjoy yourself. If you find yourself at a point where you're not having fun, don't do it anymore. I think one of the most important bits of advice that I could give, though, is don't commit yourself to too much. Like, don't say, you know what, I'm going to definitely put out a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, because it's really fucking hard to do that. And you look at people like Simon Dan and Creaky, who have that ability to put out the video guaranteed twice a week that they do. But it's not always as easy as that. Their videos are relatively simple. I'm not putting them down in any way, but they don't have like lots of graphics and they're usually maybe 15 minutes long at the most, and it's a little easier for, if you're doing that, to put out definitely a couple. But if you are only comfortable with saying, right, I could probably put out once every 2 weeks, then do that. Don't try and do something that you're not comfortable with. Don't try and commit yourself to a schedule that is going to be a problem for you, because it's not always that easy. If you say, right, I'm going to put out something once every 2 weeks, and you do that, and you think, I could probably do a bit more, then maybe add in another thing every other week or something, and see how you go. But don't try and do it too hard, too fast, because you'll burn out and you probably will end up hating it.
Yeah, definitely. I do see that a lot too. And it is definitely difficult. I mean, even just the intro I made took quite a long time, and that was a 1 minute video. And that took me, good like 2.5 hours just to do that. So it definitely is difficult to get content out regularly because of the time it takes to produce good content.
Yeah. I mean, I'm constantly trying to improve what I do. I started off just sitting on my sofa, and I look back at it now and I kind of cringe, but it was the best I could do at the time. But as I've learned more about video production, I've managed to, get a green screen and start with the, just the nice thing behind me. And then I've got the graphics, and now I have a hologram come out my hand. And, it's as I've built up to it. But if I started trying to do that, it wouldn't, probably wouldn't have worked. But it does take a lot of work. I physically cannot put out a video twice a week. Right. It takes me usually 2 weeks at least to research, write, film, produce, edit, pre and post production. It takes time to make it the quality that I want it. And I still know that I can improve in a lot of places. I'm really trying to focus on getting my audio better at the moment, because I know that's somewhere that I need to improve. And, it's just about doing what you're comfortable with and learning as you go.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for that. And how about you, Team Skeptic?
I would say, as far as advice goes, along with what Craig said about doing what you enjoy to do, because it's funny, I had one of my really good friends called me up, and I haven't talked to him in years, and I told him, yeah, man. He said, what are you doing right now? He asked me if I was still running my business downtown. I was like, no, I'm doing YouTube full time now. He's like, no shit, I just spent $8,000 on all this equipment. I'm trying to do, a channel with me and my daughter. And then he was like, that's cool. And then he was like, so how many subscribers you got? And I was like, 24,000 something. He was like, oh, fuck. Okay, so now I'm just trying to get all the information from me. And I told him almost exactly what Craig told him, was like, hey, look, you've got to understand that, you've got to do what you love to do. I said, what, you're trying to do a channel with your daughter? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not going to go anywhere, bro. You got to realize that. Why not? Well, because that's an oversaturated market, number one. Number two, you got YouTube's rules and regulations that are going to be hindering you from really growing your channel. Number three, it's just not something you personally are passionate about. Like, if he's an opinionated person, he should be doing something he's passionate about, because the audience loves passion. They don't care about the rest of the shit. They love passion. When you see somebody who's passionate about something, whether you know that they're telling a story that's a joke or not, you just believe them. You put yourself there. So be passionate about it. And you can't be passionate about something that you don't absolutely love or like, or, it's something you're well knowledged about, well versed in a topic. The other thing, but the advice that I would personally give, different than Fight, or unique to what Fight said, is that two things. You look at yourself and you have 100 subscribers and you say, damn, how does Simon Dan have several 100,000? I'm going to do what he does. Well, it's not that easy. Number one, you have to remember he had 100 subs at one time as well. There was a time when I was growing faster than Dan. Right before I took a small break in my first year, and when I took my break, I had about 300 subscribers more than Dan, and he had started about 2 months earlier than me. I was already aware of his channel, but I just saw him as friendly competition. You know, I look at everybody as friendly competition,
Yeah.
not as enemies or whatever. I can learn from them, right? Well, when I come back,
Why are
he
you
has
so mean
80,000.
to me?
Because I want people to stop subbing to you, start subbing to me. That's why. But when I came back online, Dan had 80,000 subs. And then that was, of course, when he had his first viral video and it really took off for him. And everybody wants to do that. They have the 100 subs and they go, oh, I want to be Simon Dan. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to put a viral thumbnail or a viral title or something like that. It's not really that easy. You have to be consistent with what you do. And you have, like I said, you have to work through the 100 subs to the 1,000, and through the 1,000 to the 10, and through the 10 to the 100, which is where I'm at right now, working myself up through this new perceived wall that's holding me back, but it's not, because I had 100 subs and I thought there was a wall holding me back, and I had 1,000 subs and I thought there was a wall holding me back, and then I had 10,000. I thought there, you know what I'm saying? Like, every time I've always got through another wall to see there was another one, or got through one wall to see there was another one in front of me. And that can be kind of frustrating. So keep in mind that even though Dan was able to get up to hundreds of thousands of subs within a couple of years, there are people out there that are still struggling to hit 1,000 subs that have been doing it for 5 or 10 years. So it's a tricky game. You got to get through. You got to persevere, put out new material, and learn from what works and from what doesn't work. Every video should be a tutorial for yourself on how to be better next time.
And remember that 98% of YouTube channels have less than 100 subscribers.
Yeah. And
no way.
Yeah.
I want to hear something crazy. An average YouTube stream. Do you know how many viewers are on an average YouTube stream?
I bet it's less than 10.
23.
Higher than I thought, actually.
23. That's all YouTube live stream channels. All of them.
So, Jess, you're 3 times above the average right now. Good work.
Well, wait. It might be, I'm sorry, I might have got that wrong. It might be 23 on Twitch and like 11 on YouTube. I'll go back and look. It might, one of those is 23, the other one is 11, when you'd think it'd be a lot more. Right. But it made me think, I was like, wow, people actually really like me.
Well, that's definitely awesome advice.
They just like watching you fail.
I do appreciate
I try
the
to be so
fucking
that. I just try to be funny. I'm sorry, guys. I struggle.
But Sean's been doing it a lot longer than us, so he's probably got the best advice.
Well, it depends on how you look at that, Craig, because I've been floating at 3,500 subscribers for like a year now. But then again, I'm not constantly pushing content. Team Skeptic's always on my back about that, about not putting out videos all the time. Here's my advice. Do what you like to do. Don't change you to make a YouTube channel. You'll learn to hate it really fast, and people will see that, and that will drive them away. Do what you like to do. If people will want to watch it, they'll come. It'll be slow, but it'll happen. Don't get frustrated that you can't get over that 1,000 subscriber mark. Don't get frustrated because you're not growing as fast as you want. You'll grow organically as YouTube goes on. It just depends on your content. We'll determine how long that takes. But don't do something that you don't enjoy doing, or otherwise you're just going to burn yourself out and it's just going to become a job that you learn to hate. And you'll burn yourself out. That's the simplest way of looking at it. What they said is a lot more detailed, but then again, they've got the subscriber count to back that up.
Right. Well, I do appreciate
I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for people like you, AT2, and Reds. So I can definitely say that that's something that's a good thing to do. Don't let opportunities pass you by.
And the thing
last
is, Sean,
night. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to say, back up what Sean was said, that even though Sean may not have the subscriber count that me and team have, that me and team do put out regular scripted content, a lot more live streams and stuff, but Sean's channel is full of evidence that team and I go to regularly in our streams to use, to back up, because Sean is one of the people, very much like Reds, who will actually go out and do the experiments and stuff that the flat earthers are asking for. I'm not in a position to go out and do a bunch of that stuff, but Sean has. And I know I can always go to Sean's channel and I can find evidence there that the earth isn't flat that I can use.
I can still say to this day, I am the only person on YouTube that I'm aware of that has actually gone out and built a physical 2-scale model of the flat Earth to demonstrate why it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't find flat earthers going out and building a 2-scale globe, do you?
No,
You
or a
don't
flat
see
Earth
flat
model.
earthers going out to do a whole lot of anything.
I've seen some attempt to do flat earth models. I think my first collaboration with Slyman Dan, we covered a guy who made a model of the universe actually, and it was an egg. Yeah, I did just say that.
Is this an egg? I don't know if anybody watched Planner Walk's video earlier, but he did make a reference to that as well. He had a lot of references in his video earlier today, which was it was a great video. But yeah, that was a reference in there, and it made me laugh. So I do have a few questions from the live chat for you guys. One of the better questions I got was from Sean Mann, who says, if you had to phone one flat earther in an emergency, who would it be?
That's easy. None of them, because they couldn't use GPS to find me.
Okay, that's fair. Ftfe, any thoughts?
Probably Dell, because he looks like he could lift up my car without a truck.
You're not wrong.
Wow. Yeah, god damn it. You actually killed it with that one.
Yeah. There's a question from the Turtle Moves. He says, at Ftfe.
Well, hey, you didn't let me answer. Hold on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got to answer this.
I guess
because I was thinking about who I want, and I've got a good one right
All
here.
right, who do you got?
I'm phoning MC Flatty.
Oh yeah.
Why?
I can't divulge the information why, but
anyone that knows.
Anyone that knows, yeah. I would definitely get saved by MC Flatty. He's a superhero in that community.
Awesome.
He's the one flat earther that all globe earthers should be subscribed to.
Interesting. That's a Jeranism phrase, by the way. And we also
Is
had
that really?
His from his test where he disproved himself.
Oh no, I thought you meant the phrase I said. I'm sorry.
No, just interesting.
I only listen to myself. I'm sorry.
All the time.
We're used to that. That's nothing new. So
Iron Tusk in the chat says that they'd call JM so they could be a bandit together.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Oh dear.
It's not narcissism if it's true. So
exactly. And then we have the Turtle Moves in the live chat, who says, Ftfe, is Team being held back by his attraction to meat tubes?
Yeah, I think if Team dropped this conspiracy, he'd be absolutely fine. Because when you look at Team in a live stream and you see the nice, neat little area of his house, that's all fine. But the rest of his house is actually full of people high up in the meat tube conspiracy with bits of like string connecting them. And he just spends hours just sitting there going, I'm going to figure this out. If he didn't spend so much of his life focusing on the meat tube conspiracy, he could do a lot more of himself.
Okay, I'd like to respond to that because he says drop the meat tube conspiracy as if it's that easy. Well, how about this fight? Why don't you drop the eyeglasses fix your eyesight conspiracy? Go ahead and take off your eyeglasses because no big deal, right? Yeah, because
someone turn the resolution down.
When you put the eyeglasses on. When you put the glasses on, do they help you work? Are they true? Does the theory behind optics work? Yes. Well, that's because it's true. I will, and you'll never give up that conspiracy because I'll never give up the meat tube conspiracy because I saw it with my own 2 non-glassed eyes.
So you say.
I've seen lots of meat tubes in my life.
Every time I go to Taco Bell, I ask them to see the meat tube, and they always look at me funny.
And call the cops.
Yeah, that might be why that happens every single time.
They're all 16-year-olds. You can't say that to 16-year-olds.
I need an adult.
That's true.
Can you show me your meat tube?
Mom.
We also had another question from Kristen Frost Laserbeams, who says, how do you guys get past writer's block or times that you're too down to do videos?
Don't do them. If you're too down to do them, if you're too down to do a video, don't do a video. That happened to me recently. I've been in, I've had a lot happen in 2020, right? I mean, I've had death of close friends and family. I've had hack channel. We're dealing with the pandemic. I've had my son and I, who are both really sick. I had a lot that was really, really weighing in on me. And I didn't talk to anybody about it. I really kept it to myself. Again, that's something that a lot of military people will do, is they don't just go around talking about their feelings and anything like that. I didn't think I was depressed. I just thought I was down.
Right.
And when I was down, I tried to record something and I didn't feel it. I was like, what's wrong with me? Why do I not feel this right now? Well, there was nothing that was going to change my feeling at the time. It was just a pile up of stress, but doing a video wasn't going to help that. Forcing a video out would not have looked good in the video. I would have known ultimately that the product I was pushing out there was only a half-assed product. That probably wouldn't have fucking inspired me to feel fucking better about myself. And it was an overall negative to the whole situation. So my advice if you're dealing with writer's block, it's a different thing. But if you're just too down or you got stuff on your mind and you can't put 100% into your video, don't work on your video that day. Just hold off. People will appreciate it better. Put out 6 videos, grab source material. That'll make you feel good when you're looking at dumbass flat earth videos. Grab a bunch of source material and put them in a folder, download them so they don't get deleted. Put them in a folder and hold on to those for when you do come out of your funk. That's the best advice I could give about that. That's how I did it.
And Ftfe, what about like writer's block? I know you write, scripts for your created videos and stuff. Do you ever have that kind of moment?
Yeah, quite often I'll sit down and I'll watch through a flat earth video or something and like, yeah, I can respond to that, but then it's something that I've said so many times, I struggle to think how I can make it funny or interesting because there is no new flat earth argument. So you just need to put it down and do something else for a while. Like for me, I'll sink my head in and play video games for a few hours with my wife or something and, and come back to it the next day and feel fresh. And then you find something that works. Never try and force it.
Right.
Yeah, I'll tell you something Fight the Flat Earth once told me about dealing with writer's block, and what he does sometimes is he will stroke the penis on his head just for hours at a time until he comes up with a new thought. Just like that, look.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna get it. You just keep doing it and doing it. Yep, there's that moment of inspiration.
Yep. That definitely
this
makes
idea
sense.
is coming out.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, I think that's about all we have. I know we did have a couple other questions from the live chat, but we have gone a little bit over an hour here, and I did want to keep it to about an hour. I know, Ftfe, you have a debate coming up later on. Did you want to tell us about that?
Mike, the flat earther, is back for round 3, and he says he's done taking shit.
It's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, he says he's angry. He says all of my audience are retards, all of my audience, including me and anyone on my channel, we're all just so ridiculously stupid, and he's going to show us what we are tonight.
Shawn, you free tonight?
I'm not working.
You can definitely join.
Oh boy. Shawn, why don't you come on tonight and have this guy? Okay, so let me tell you about this guy so far, Shawn. He continues to be like, when people are like, what's that degree on your wall? Because he has something plaqued on his wall, like framed on his wall. So he's always like, oh, he'll try to play it off. That's just, my remedial reading class certification. That's my GED back there. So he's a really pretentious prick. And I've called him a Poe, but he says, he says that.
My God.
I would love for you to just rip this fucking pretentious prick a new asshole.
It would be my pleasure.
Tonight.
Are you taking Shawn from me today?
Yes,
I am. Sorry, but
That's
yes.
fine.
We were in his life way before. way, like at least 6 months before you.
All right,
so
I guess.
obviously we own
more than
him
6
way
months.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun. I'll definitely be in the live chat for that. I love being in the live chat for these kind of things. The amount of the dumpster fire just fuels the chat.
I love to rewatch the debates so that I can pay attention to the chat, because when I'm debating and producing, it's really hard to pay attention to what's going on in the chat.
Yeah.
So I love to rewatch the debates, and sometimes I barely listen to what's going on, just so I can watch what's happening in the chat. And sometimes there's an entire argument between groups of people in the chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is
it.
amazing.
Yeah, that is one thing I'll tell you guys that it's a phenomenon, really. It really is. Okay, outside of fucking PewDiePie or someone who's major that goes live, and we're talking about 2,500 or more viewers at a time, their chat does not move like ours moves.
No,
I'm
honestly.
sorry, it does not. Even James admitted it in the video when Fight goes, hey, chat, atheists in the chat, do you believe grass has intelligence? And as the no's went by, it was literally like 500 no's immediately, and people responding immediately after saying no. And just you don't see that on other people's chats. We are an engaging group. It's fun.
Absolutely.
It's fun for us. When I go back and watch, because I, just like Fight said, for us, believe it or not, why I always say, hey, tag AT2 or tag Shawn when I can. If I can't, I'll say tag Ftfe if I'm hosting the debate. If Ftfe's hosting the debate, he can say tag Team Skeptic because I'm not having to focus on the production. He is. So whoever's hosting that show can't always follow the live chat. So whenever I host the show, I always go back and rewatch the show after it's done processing so I can read the live chat. And oh my God, some of the funniest shit. Arguments that go on in the chat between fucking flat earthers and non-flat earthers. That's hilarious.
Well, there's actually a good reason for that, Skeptic, as far as engagement with chat. You pay attention to chat. I'm very critical on going to other people's live streams and how much they engage with their audience. Craig's really good at it. Everybody I hang out with, we thrive on the fact that we engage with our audience and they engage back with us. You get these multi-million subscribers channels that do live streams. Their chats are flying, but they're not talking about anything that's going on the stream most of the time, or the chat is completely dead. There's no engagement back and forth. Which is why one of my favorite game streamers, I'm going to give him a plug here because he's amazing at it, is Tagback TV. He's constantly playing his game and engaging in the chat. I've tried to emulate that as best I can when I'm doing my game streams. But that's really important. You have to let your audience know that you're paying attention to them. Otherwise, they're not going to be your audience anymore.
Right.
Yeah, but it is hard to keep up with the live chat during the, I do it as much as I can. But obviously if I am producing and debating, it's hard to sometimes keep up with what's going on in the chat.
I mean,
but the fact that you guys are always there to support us is amazing. And one of the things that I will say is that I think all of us, Shawn included, the ratio of people we have watching our live streams to our subs, all of us, is so much higher than if you look at the people with 1 million subs plus, right? I was watching a comedy channel I watch, Viva la Dirt League, right? They've got, I think, about 1.8 million subs, and they had a live stream a few weeks ago, and they had 300 people watching.
Yeah.
But me and team can do a live stream and easily have 500 plus people. Right. Shawn, who's got like 3,500 people, can need to do a live stream and have 200 people watching.
I'll get anywhere from 140 to 500 watching a live stream on mine, and I've got far less subscribers.
Right.
Yeah, and even right now, you've got 179 subscribers. You've got 60 watching. That ratio to people watching to your subscribers is so much bigger than people with massive channels, and I think that's amazing that the community will support us like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, on the flip side of my gaming streams, I only get 20 to 40 watching because
it's different audience.
It's a different audience, but I don't have more than one channel.
Yeah.
That's I am okay with that because I'm so glad I have my Team Skeptic After Dark channel to go fuck off on because I would not be doing live streams for games if it wasn't for that right there. I would never put it on my channel. It'd kill my channel.
Yeah, it's not what our audience are used to.
Yeah, and a couple of things just about those kind of things that we talked about here. Just, especially with like the gaming streams and stuff. I used to do live streams for video games on YouTube, but I found that on YouTube, it's I like having a created stream, like a created video for video game streams. So I've now taken to, I'll do my live streaming on Twitch and Mixer. And then take that recording and then make a video for YouTube, kind of like I did with Happy Wheels. And the other thing that I've noticed is networking is a big thing. Reach out to people. You never know who's gonna reply. You could. I have a.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
I
we've
have
already,
a.
yeah, Fight can attest that. We've had Mick West on our
Yeah.
channel just from
Yeah,
reaching out to him. We've had
Professor Dave.
Professor Dave Mortimer. He's been on our
Yeah,
channel.
I
Those
spoke to
people we
one
all
of
just
the
reach out to.
one of the world's leading gravity experts. I actually got him to come onto my show because I reached out to him.
Yeah.
So definitely reaching out. And in fact, when you go into your like YouTube dashboard and stuff as a creator, and it gives you advice, one of the things it says is collaborations of other channels are one of the most important things to help you grow.
Well, that's how YouTube got off the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no ifs, ands, or buts. When you guys got shouted out on, I'm not going to say the names, but bigger channels, you're welcome. Your channel started to explode, and from there you took it on your own to grow them with your own style.
Yeah.
But the shout outs early on make or break channels.
Yeah.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If you try to grow it on your own, it's going to be a very slow process.
Yeah.
You get somebody to get some attention to you, you're going to grow.
Yeah.
I think my big, I say my big break, and relatively in all things speaking, I got 25,000 subscribers. That's still a relatively small amount, but I owe the kind of growth, the massive growth I had at the beginning, and to Simon Dan, because he shouted out my interview with an ex-flat earther, and then within a couple of weeks, that video had 100,000 views, and I gained a few thousand subscribers, and that kind of momentum kept going ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So and then Greater Sapien and Young Blue Skeptic shouted me out on one of Greater Sapien shows, and then all these other audiences started seeing who I was, and so yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely helps out. We did have another question just from the live chat real quick, just for Shawn. Irish Stew wants to know, has Shawn given up on the music side of things?
Oh, hell no. I just haven't had good inspiration and a song to go with it yet.
Gotcha.
But there will be more.
Well, there is a project me and Team started talking about. Remember Team?
Which one?
The Gorillaz song.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Shawn can help us out with that.
Yeah.
The Gorilla song.
We'll message you.
We'll leave that one up to you guys. But with that, I do just want to come shout out a couple different things real quick. Thank you again to Amy Hogan in the live chat. Again, like Craig was saying, it is difficult to produce and be a part of, and also pay attention to live chat. Especially when I do movie night, I notice that a lot. I have to produce the whole thing. I have to, get the videos going. I have to have everything. I have to run everything. I also try to be involved in it, and take part in the conversation, but then also pay attention to live chat. And that can definitely be a lot to take on for one person. So I do want to definitely... Go ahead.
I'll say that whenever I'm doing my shows and I go back and watch them, and I hear, like, I do listen to my shows, even though I'm primarily watching the chat and seeing what's going on over there. What I'll notice is that I'll remember times when I was paying attention to the chat, and you'll hear those in my conversation.
Yeah.
Like, my conversation will be like this, where I'm trying to hold a thought or convey a thought and read the chat as well. Or it'll just be silence when everybody's like, someone asks me a question, and then I'm like, oh, what? I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. If I ever say I wasn't paying attention, I'm sorry. It's because I was reading the live chat. It always works that way. So whenever I host a show, I just try to tell myself, don't worry about the live chat right now. Do as much as you can in the live chat.
Right.
But don't worry about it. Just it's gonna happen. You're gonna miss some shit.
John Park in the chat says I should come up with an awesome theme song for Dumbfuck of the Year. I actually did the opening theme for the second Dumbfuck of the Year.
Yeah.
If you go back to that opening theme was me.
Well, yeah, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate all of Amy's help. Dick Dawson says that's why over on the iNetwork they have a dedicated person for interactions. It's so much easier, especially with Amy.
Yep.
Amy's awesome for that. So I do definitely appreciate your help with that, Amy, today. I do, I wanted to give you a shout out because having the questions come in, I might miss one or two, but at least this way you could just DM them to me and it worked out great. So thank you for that. Also, I did reach out to another YouTube content creator. His name is Steven Scotcha. I don't know if any of you are familiar with him. I'll share his link in the live chat. He does covers for all different kinds of music. He has a second channel that's dedicated just to Disney songs, but he has an amazing voice. He's got about 50,000 subscribers or so, and he's just an awesome content creator. So I did reach out to him for an interview, and he did get back to me. And he's looking forward to doing an interview with me on my channel. So I'm gonna have a couple more back and forths with him, and then get that scheduled. But I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you guys will return for that. And then the
Talking
only
about
other
Disney songs, has anyone ever actually listened to the lyrics when Aladdin's singing to the princess? That dude's not right in the head.
Yeah, yeah. Some of the
Like,
Aladdin
why
songs
is she not
are a
allowed to
little
close her
strange.
eyes? What's he going to do?
Yeah, there some songs in general from Disney are a little strange, but yeah, he's like I said, he's definitely an awesome vocalist, and I appreciate his music and his covers. So I'm looking forward to doing that interview. Also, this Friday on movie night, we have the Strike movie night every Friday night. This week is just going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a special happy birthday stream for Strike. His birthday was yesterday. And we're just going to have some fun with it. You know, not that we don't have fun all the time, but I do want to have just a little bit more fun. We'll go over some memories of Cy, and we'll play some games and have a good time and do what he liked to do best, which was just laugh. So I will put the link to the Strike channel in the live chat as well. And that's about all I have today. I am going to put the links for everybody's channel in my description for Shawn and Ftfe and Team Skeptic. I know you guys already know who they are, but if anybody's watching and doesn't know, definitely go check out their channels. They're amazing people, amazing content creators. The streams that they do live and the content that they create are just top notch. You can't really ask for much better. So I thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it so much having you guys here with me today.
Thanks
And
for
I
having me on.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. People in the chat were asking what time my debate is. It's in an hour and 40 minutes from now. So midnight UK, 6 p.m. team time, whatever that time zone is.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m. Eastern here.
7 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for letting me share. Yeah, I've had a great time. We should get you on the channel in the stream with us sometime.
Awesome. Yeah, that would definitely be awesome. That'd be great.
I would like to say that I'm always enjoyable, so I'm sure this stream was amazing for anybody that watched it.
Of course, yeah.
I do have a question for you though, Jess. When did you become my conduit to Sleeping Warrior? How did that come about?
Right?
I don't know. The same way that JM thought he was your best buddy for a long time. For some reason, I have that same kind of repertoire with Sleeping Warrior.
I love how he first started blaming the fact that there's going to be a shutdown in the post, that I wouldn't be getting the court papers. Now it's just the courts aren't working properly. Guys, there is no. I'm going to say this outright. Anthony Riley and Ftfe Core, you're blowing smoke up your own asses. There is no court case. If you're going to try and sue me, get on with it, because, and I'm being fucking serious here, if you carry on threatening me, I will raise litigation against you for doing that. So either sue me or fucking shut up.
Yeah, one or the other. Kind of shit or get off the pot. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Like I said, this was a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing these streams. I do a lot, live streams and some created content. I love doing all of them. I have a blast when I make these videos and stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to more. And I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Like I said, I'm working on getting more people set up for interviews. I have a couple of feelers out, one of them being for Chris Hadfield. I'm kind of crossing my fingers on that one. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this interview, and I hope that you look forward to the rest of them. And with that, Team Skeptic, do you want to take us out?
Yeah, sure. Fucking
your fucking outro fail.
Yeah, my outro failed. Of course, got to make that happen, guys. No, absolutely. I had a great time. This was amazing. If you're not already subscribed,
Wouldn't it be annoying if someone interrupted you during your outro?
Not really. No. But if you guys could do us all a huge favor and share this stream on your local social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Reddit or Instagram or wherever the fuck you can share it. I don't know.
MySpace is where it's at.
MySpace.com.
Yeah.
Do so.
Tom is still my friend.
Tom's my friend as well. That's crazy.
I'll block that bitch. Share this stream so we can get some more viewers in here for the next one, because this was an amazing show and I really did have a great time. With that, I'm Team Skeptic, she's Ftfe, and we're out.
Fail.